the more we have these people who is involved in the industries sharing their experience with and be very easy to access to, the better we can have a new generations coming to us, right? Because sometimes these kids, they have many ideas of what a position looks like, right? They can create this kind of like, oh, that looks boring, right? But if there is no one talking to them and say, hey, I have to fix this, or I have to do this challenge, or really talk about their day-to-day jobs, it's gonna be very hard to do the conversion.
It's about how do we get kids interested in this so much earlier than we traditionally do. I have a 6-year-old boy and a 9-year-old daughter. He's been playing soccer since he could barely walk, and she's been in dance since she was 3 years old, and they're starting to introduce her to band, and she's testing out instruments and deciding which part of the band or orchestra she wants to be a part of next year. My son's begging me to play football, and he plays basketball every chance he gets. And they're learning all these things in school, but the best way to get kids interested in something at such an early age is through play. And it's not until they get to high school where they can join the robotics team and they're introduced to these things, and maybe they've got a mentor who will take them on a field trip to Automate or to ProMat or something like that. And so by the time they're in high school and they can join the robotics team, unless somebody has an intense interest in it that was almost put in them by God, like you from an early age, you knew you wanted to do this, that it's a small pool of kids in high school who say, yeah, robotics, that's some cool stuff. I'd love to be on the robotics team. But if they got started earlier, if they got started at 3, 4, 5, 6 years old and they got to play around with engineering technologies and build robots and see what they did and had engineers come speak at their school, I think the likelihood of that next generation being much larger than it currently is grows exponentially. But I feel for the teachers too, who got to learn all this stuff every year. It's changing.